$298, that's the price of a single gallon of paint. To make the purchase, his father hands him a $5 bill, crisp, new, clean. Know a place where paint still goes for under $3? Me neither, but that old clip? It trained us to see money as rigid, logical, predictable, but deep down, you know that's a lie. You didn't stumble onto this message by chance. Some part of you already knows money isn't just paper. Not just digits, not just compensation for labor. Money is energy. And in this moment, it's either moving toward you or slipping away. Not because you're lazy, not because you're cursed, and definitely not because you don't deserve more. It's about one thing, your frequency. Money doesn't care how hard you hustle. It doesn't reward exhaustion. It avoids desperation. Money responds to who you are energetically, to your deep-seated beliefs, to your unconscious patterns, to your emotional state. If money feels unstable, scarce, or disappears, as soon as you earn it, it's not a mistake, it's a reflection. You were wired to survive, not thrive. Wired by parents overwhelmed by bills, by schools that never spoke the language of wealth, by systems that taught obedience over expansion. It's still running like a silent app in the background of your life. A virus in your subconscious, let this sink in. Money doesn't obey logic, it obeys frequency. You can earn degrees, sacrifice, sleep, grind till your knuckles bleed. But if your inner signal says, I don't have enough, that's exactly what the universe echoes back. Right now you're tuned into one of two channels. Lack or abundance, lack versus flow. Whichever station you're broadcasting from, that's the frequency running your life. But here's the miracle. You can change the channel. This isn't your fate, it's not permanent. You can rewire the broadcast, shift your inner signal, align your field so that wealth flows to you like air, effortless, natural, constant, and that's what this is, your blueprint to shift the wealth game permanently. Because here's the truth they never taught you. Money isn't something you earn. It's something you allow until you heal the root wound, that voice that whispers, I'm not safe to have more. Nothing sticks. No budget, no strategy, no manifesting trick. Here's the unlock. Money is a frequency. Your energy is the access key. Let's rip the mask off the lie. Money isn't a thing, it's a signal. Not granted by merit, not given through suffering. It reflects your internal state until you understand that you're stuck in a rigged game built to break you. They didn't teach you the real rules. Because the truth, money isn't backed by gold. It's backed by belief, collective trust. That's the whole system. Belief is energy in agreement. Just like in quantum physics where the observer shapes reality, your belief collapses infinite possibility into a single outcome. Believe money is hard, and it is. Believe it flows to you effortlessly, and it does. Your subconscious is the dial, and most of it was programmed before you ever spoke a word. Let that land. That's why effort alone won't cut it. That's why some grind their whole lives and still struggle, while others attract wealth like gravity with ease. Because it's not about doing more, it's about being aligned. No alignment, no flow. That's the rule. Money isn't natural, it's not from the earth. It's not divine, it's man-made. Just a symbol, a story, a brand. And yet, it shapes your emotions. It defines your self-worth, your identity. Why? Because as a child you were hypnotized, taught that money equals survival, that success equals value, that your worth is measured in currency, and now you serve a system that only exists because you believe in it. That's not conspiracy, it's basic spiritual law. Money is belief made physical. Let's go deeper. If every person on earth stopped believing in money, tomorrow the whole system would evaporate. Poof, gone, no banks, no loans, no debt. It's happened before. Germany in the 1920s. Zimbabwe in the 2000s, people used cash to light fires, not because they ran out of money, but because they ran out of belief. And here's the twist. This belief system isn't neutral, it's rigged. You were trained to see money as elusive, unstable, limited. Why? Because if they keep you in scarcity, They keep you obedient. This isn't just economics, it's spiritual, warfare. Let's get esoteric, words or spells. Take currency from Latin. Currere, meaning to run or to flow. That's what money was meant to be. Flow, movement, circulation, energy. But what happens when your inner wiring is based in fear? You block the current, you repel the very thing you're chasing. No matter your IQ, no matter your effort, if the signal is wrong, the result is lack. Somewhere along the way the flow was stolen. Governments, banks, corporations, they took something fluid and froze it. They turned freedom into control, movement into bondage. Debt isn't a side effect. It's the blueprint. You're told to study hard to succeed. But what you actually get? A lifetime of repayment. You trade your time for a paycheck, not for freedom, but to survive within someone else's rules. That's the real spell. And it was never about the money. It was about how they trained you to feel about it. They didn't need to steal your cash. They hijacked your nervous system. They baked the idea of scarcity into your soul, that you're not enough, that you have to grind to deserve, that you're worth productivity. But here's what terrifies them most. If you take back your belief, you take back your power. You were never meant to serve money. You were meant to wield it. Money is a tool, not a god. You were born to flow, to give, to receive, to thrive, not to scrape by, not to ask for scraps, not to feel small. In a system built to shrink your mission isn't just to earn more, it's to break free, to dismantle the inner matrix that tells you you must suffer to be worthy. You were made for abundance, and it's time to return to it. Here's the untold secret. Money loves motion. It dies in fear, it thrives in confidence. When you hoard out of panic, you're not protecting yourself, you're casting a spell of lack. You're saying to the universe, I don't believe more is coming. And the universe, it listens always. It matches your frequency like a mirror. As within, so without. As above, so below. Your inner state, your outer account. If you feel safe, open, generous, money flows. If you feel tense, stingy, afraid, it dries up. Because money is current. A flow of energy, a river, not a vault. That's why it's called currency. Spend with purpose. Give with trust, invest from overflow, not fear. That flips the switch, that turns scarcity into circulation. They lied. When they told you to save every penny, energetically, that's like holding your breath until you black out. Money is like air. You breathe in, you breathe out, take, give, receive, release. You can't hoard life, you can't choke flow. Wealth isn't created by holding on, it's created by letting go with faith. Because wealth isn't a pile, it's a pulse, it's a system, it's a circuit. And circuits only work when open. Flip the flow and everything responds immediately. Let me tell you a story. Let's meet Eric. He's 49, self-employed plumber, 22 years in the game, reliable, early, honest. He's the guy who shows up at 3 a.m. when your house is underwater, never misses a job, never cheats a client, and yet he's broke. Still chasing bills, still living month to month, still telling himself it's just a slow season. But here's the truth. Eric isn't just exhausted, he's energetically bankrupt, not because of laziness, because of a spell, a belief he inherited. If I'm not struggling, I don't deserve it. If I raise my prices, no one will hire me. If I succeed, something bad will happen. Eric doesn't just fix pipes, he fixes everyone's problems because no one ever taught him to fix his own. He thinks real men sacrifice. That asking for more is greedy, that wealth will corrupt him. So he shrinks, he calls it humility. But it's fear dressed as virtue, passed down like a family relic from men who died poor and were praised for it. He doesn't know. Money is energy. He thinks it's punishment, something you earn through sweat and suffering. And every time he gets ahead, boom, a setback, a bill, a breakdown. Not coincidence, a pattern. Eric's nervous system is wired for survival, not abundance. Because deep inside he once decided, if I thrive, I'll lose myself. If I rest, no one will need me. If I ask for more, I'll be alone. So he stays small. He says yes when he wants to scream no. He plays it safe and wonders why nothing changes. But Eric isn't broken. He's just running outdated code. Scripts written by generations who never questioned their scarcity. And unless he rewrites the code, nothing shifts. Not his income. Not his peace. Not his worth. Because no matter how hard he grinds, his energy still shouts, "Please don't let me thrive." And if that resonates, it's because it's your story too. But here's the good news. The moment you see the pattern, it loses power. The moment you choose, you rewrite the code. You weren't born with a scarcity mindset. You inherited it. It started early, when you asked for something simple and heard, "We can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Be grateful for what you have." Those weren't harmless sayings. They were commands, etched into your nervous system, like scars. And every time they repeated them, your body learned, money is dangerous. Desire is wrong. Abundance is forbidden. By age 7, your money blueprint was set not on truth, but on fear, on someone else's pain. School reinforced it. No one taught you about energy, or flow, or frequency. They taught you rules, silence, obedience, submission, and religion added its layer. The love of money is evil. Blessed are the poor. Reprogramming your subconscious beliefs. You've heard it said before, you can't serve God and money. But let's set the record straight. Money isn't evil, it's neutral. It's an amplifier. It doesn't change who you are, it magnifies what's already inside. If you're greedy, money makes that louder. But if you're generous, money becomes a tool to serve, to heal, to empower. So who really benefits from the belief that being broke is holy? The system. Because people who are constantly struggling financially are easier to manipulate, easier to silence, easier to control. Now let's talk about the deeper layer, trauma. Maybe you grew up watching your parents fight over bills. Maybe you saw money vanish as fast as it came. Or maybe every time life felt stable, something came crashing down. Those moments didn't just hurt, they imprinted on you. They hardwired your body and nervous system to expect loss, to brace for chaos, to fear stability. So now when money does show up, when opportunities for abundance knock, you flinch, you undercharge, you overgive, you self-sabotage. Because deep inside your energy is still whispering, wealth isn't safe. It won't last. Better to push it away before it's ripped from me. And as if that wasn't enough, social media throws fuel on the fire. You scroll and see everyone winning, flaunting their lifestyle, moving faster, earning more. Instead of feeling motivated, you feel behind, ashamed, inadequate. That's not inspiration, that's energetic debt. And you're paying the interest every single time you compare yourself. Every belief, every wound, every silent message, it all becomes your subconscious blueprint. And whether you know it or not, that blueprint is actively shaping your financial reality. But here's the good news, anything programmed can be reprogrammed. Let's go deeper into what most never talk about, but mystics have always known. In the Kabbalistic tradition, there's a core truth. Energy flows through vessels, but here's the catch. If your vessel is unstable too, small, fractured by fear or shame, then abundance doesn't bless. It breaks you. That's why some people attract money and lose it almost instantly. You've seen it. Maybe you've lived it. They get the raise. They land the big deal. They win the lawsuit. The check clears. And then, everything falls apart. Stress spikes, fear creeps in, they overspend. They underperform. They burn it all down and end up right back where they started. Take lottery winners, 70% of them go broke within 5 years. Some even end up worse than before. Athletes, same thing. These men train for years with relentless discipline, mental toughness. But the moment they step into million-dollar contracts, they unravel. Sports Illustrated found that 78% of NFL players face financial stress within 2 years of retiring. 60% of NBA players go broke within 5 years. These are men who had it all: money, fame, access. So why did it crumble? Because no one taught them how to reprogram the subconscious identity that holds wealth. So the money came, but the inner foundation cracked under the pressure. Understand this: if your subconscious doesn't believe it's safe to hold abundance, you will eject it no matter how much you earn. Even if you're rich on paper, even if the world thinks you've made it. This is why building wealth isn't just about learning how to attract money. It's about becoming a person who can hold it energetically, emotionally, spiritually. If money is energy, then your energy field is the container. And if that field is fractured, unhealed, or unstable, money will short-circuit your system. This is the part most people miss. They work to earn, but they never learn how to sustain. They never reinforce their field. So when wealth comes, it overwhelms their nervous system, their body collapses, their energy leaks. They spiral even when they technically have enough. In Kabbalah, this is called the shattering of the vessels. It's not punishment, it's revelation. The light didn't betray them, it exposed them. Because money doesn't fix you. It reveals you, it highlights your shadow, your shame, your unresolved wounds. If you carry guilt or fear around receiving, that's what multiplies when wealth arrives. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll push abundance away until your outer world matches your inner truth. Let's set aside pride for a moment. You've worked hard, you've endured silently, you've provided, protected, held it together when no one checked in. You've made it this far, but let me ask you something deeply personal. When was the last time you felt wealthy? Not in your bank account, not on paper, but in your body, in your soul, in your spirit. If you're honest, it's been a long time. Because you've been bleeding energy for years, not just from paying bills or carrying responsibilities, but from carrying silence, shame, suppression, loneliness. You were never taught how to receive, only how to give, until you collapsed. So now you walk around with a tired body, a cluttered mind, and this whisper of resentment saying, "What's the point of all this?" You don't say it out loud, but it's there. Here's the truth: you're not just financially blocked. You're energetically blocked. You're carrying the unhealed. The stories of generations, men who worked themselves into the grave, who swallowed their pain behind quiet nods and half smiles. You think this is about money? It's not. It's about what money represents: freedom, choice, safety, the ability to say no without guilt. Until you heal the parts of you that don't feel worthy of those things, you'll keep chasing scraps and calling it survival. It's not too late, but it is time to stop pretending. Because if you keep living like this, here's what happens. You keep working jobs beneath your worth. You wake up every morning with anxiety in your chest. You distract yourself with YouTube and quiet scrolling. You keep numbing until one day you break alone, bitter, unseen. Just like your father, just like his father, just like every man who thought money would save him without ever saving himself first. That's why you're here right now. Because some part of you knows the hacks, the hustle, the surface tricks won't work anymore. You don't just need information. You need a new frequency. So let's say you're ready. You're done pretending, you're ready to rebuild. Good. Because this isn't about theory. This is about reprogramming your energetic field and becoming the kind of man who holds wealth with ease, purpose, and peace. But before money can trust you, you must learn to trust yourself. Here's what that looks like. 1. Seal your energy field. Start your mornings without noise, no phone, no chaos, just you. Stand in silence and speak aloud. I call my energy back. I seal every loop. I am safe to receive. I am ready to expand. Breathe slowly. Anchor it. Begin your day as someone who isn't afraid of stillness. 2. Move with value. Stop working like your time is disposable. Raise your standards. Raise your prices. Say no to energy drains. Treat your time like it's sacred. Because it is. 3. Speak like a wealthy man. No more, I can't afford that, or I'll figure it out someday. Say instead, abundance is finding me now. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. I am safe to receive more than I ever have. Even if it feels fake, say it, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a command and a belief. It just responds to repetition. 4. Clean your space. Your environment mirrors your mind. If your room is cluttered, your field is leaking. Clean it, organize it, burn something sacred. Prepare your home like a temple, because that's what it is. 5. Implant wealth before sleep. Each night, close your eyes and affirm, I did enough today. I trust the unfolding. I receive in my rest. Visualize yourself wealthy, not flashy, just free. Slow mornings, deep breaths, purposeful work. No desperation, just alignment. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to shrink. Before you believed struggle was noble. Before you confused survival with purpose. This is your return to power, to peace, to wealth. And if no one has ever told you this, let me be the first. You are allowed to rise. Now here's a deeper truth. Most people will never feel wealthy, not because they don't have money, but because they don't know how to see wealth. They define it too narrowly, as numbers, as balances, as bills. That's the final form of abundance, the lowest vibration. Real wealth shows up long before the dollars do. Wealth is the stranger who helps without asking. The accident that never happens. The clean health scan. The canceled contract. That would have drained your soul. The conversation that realigns your purpose. The divine delay that protects you from what you'll never see. If you can't recognize these as wealth, you're blocking abundance without realizing it. Because Source doesn't just pay in cash. It pays in time and energy and alignment and peace in people. But if you're only looking at dollars, you are spiritually poor even when the miracles are pouring in. Adjust your lens. Recognize the subtle blessings. Honor the invisible deposits, because what you acknowledge expands, and what you ignore contracts. So here's your spiritual practice. Start tracking non-monetary wealth. Who showed up for you today? What protected you without you even noticing? What didn't happen that could have wrecked your peace? These are not small things. These are currency. These are divine deposits. The more you see them, the more you train your subconscious to say, I am wealthy. Money doesn't just respond to effort, it responds to energy, to signals, to rituals. Your bank account is not just a reflection of work, it's a reflection of frequency. And when your field shifts from fear to overflow, money becomes a side effect, not the goal. Because to the universe, miracles cost no more than coins. It's all energy. The power of belief in money. Unlocking the final seal. Money that doesn't move dies. It becomes stagnant, heavy, dead weight. And the moment you begin hoarding out of fear, you choke the current, but you can restart the flow instantly with a simple act of faith. Circulation spell. Here's how. Give a small amount of money away, anonymously. It doesn't have to be large. Even 5 is enough. Slip it into a stranger's grocery cart. Leave it in a tip jar. Pay for the coffee of the person behind you. But here's the secret. Do it with intention. In your mind, say it clearly. This proves I trust the flow. I let money move because I know it always returns multiplied. This isn't charity, it's energetic declaration. You're telling the universe, I'm not in fear, I'm in command. And once you do that, the current doesn't just return. It floods back stronger than ever. The receipt ritual. Most people spend money from a place of guilt, fear, and survival. They swipe their card and send the signal. I'm scared, I'm not safe to spend, I don't trust it'll come back. That energy kills the flow. But this ritual rewires that frequency at the exact moment money leaves. Here's what you do. Take a receipt from a joyful purchase, not survival spending, a dinner, a book, a gift you gave. Write this on the back. Money returns to me multiplied with ease. Fold it, place it in your wallet or purse, and every time you see or touch it, remind your subconscious, I am the source, not the system. Money flows through me, not to me. It's a new identity. And reality always responds to identity. The overflow envelope. Most people only use money in two ways. One, spend it and feel guilty. Two, save it and fear losing it. This ritual introduces a third path, a more powerful one. Overflow. Every time you receive money, no matter how little, take 5–10% and place it in a special envelope labeled overflow. Don't save it for emergencies. Don't touch it. Just let it build. Why? Because this is physical evidence of a new belief. This isn't my last dollar. I'm not just surviving. I have more than enough. You're not hoarding. You're declaring. And the more the envelope grows, the more your identity shifts. You begin to embody abundance. And when your identity aligns, money flows not by effort, but by resonance. These aren't habits, they're frequency codes. They reprogram your nervous system. They recalibrate your energetic signal. They shift you from wishing to embodying. Because you can't just think rich. You have to act in alignment. And ritual is the bridge that transforms thought into form. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Start today. Send the signal now. And watch how quickly the system responds. The Jim Carrey check. You probably know this story. Before he was famous, Jim Carrey wrote himself a check for $10 million. He dated it 5 years into the future. And every day he'd visualize cashing it. Sometimes sitting alone on Mulholland Drive. He didn't just wish, he lived it in his mind. 5 years later, he landed a movie deal. The paycheck? Exactly 10 million. Coincidence? Not even close. That's what happens when your inner world becomes so real, reality is forced to catch up. Neville Goddard, the man who scared the system. Long before manifestation became trendy, before the gurus, before social media made it a game, there was a man who cracked the code. His name was Neville Goddard. He wasn't selling anything. He wasn't building a brand. He was simply sharing a radical truth. Your imagination is God. Your assumptions create reality. You are not the victim. You are the cause. Neville didn't teach wishful thinking. He taught conscious causation. He said, the world is yourself, pushed out. Meaning your money problems, your relationships, your luck or lack of it. It's all a mirror, not of your actions, but of your deepest assumptions. Most people focus on what they want. Neville taught you to focus on what you assume, because what you assume is what gets impressed onto the subconscious, and that's what manifests. The feeling is the secret. This was Neville's greatest message. And it's the title of his most famous work. Feeling is the secret. Not thinking, not affirmations. Feeling, because the subconscious doesn't speak English, it speaks vibration. It understands emotion, repetition, and identity. Neville's method was simple. Live from the end, not toward the goal, from the assumption it's already done. Imagine not the process, but the result. Feel it as if it's already real. Fall asleep in that state, because sleep is the gateway to the subconscious, and what you feel as you drift off becomes your dominant frequency. The power of revision. If something bad happened today, Neville said, revise it. In your mind, replay it differently. If you were rejected, imagine being celebrated. If you failed, imagine winning. If you felt fear, replace it with confidence. Because your subconscious stores whatever you feel repeatedly, even imagined memories. And if you revise your story, emotionally reality shifts to match it. Believe first, see second. This is where most people fall. They want to see proof before they believe. Neville flipped it. Believe it and then you'll see it. Not the other way around. The universe is always asking, do you believe in what you see? Or do you believe in what you know? Stay unshakable on the inside. And the outside world must align. Ernest Holmes, the spiritual engineer. Before manifestation was a buzzword, there was a man named Ernest Holmes. You've likely heard his influence. Change your thoughts, change your life. Your mind is a magnet. The universe responds to your belief. He was the architect of a philosophy called the science of mind, and he taught one simple truth. There is a power in the universe greater than you, and you can use it. Not through hustle, not through prayer, but through alignment. Holmes didn't teach people to chase results. He taught them to change their mental equivalent, creating the mental equivalent. Here's the method. 1. Identify what you want. Torsangan, who would I have to be to receive this? 3. Train your mind to become that version of you. That's the real work. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Wealth is not a reward, and it's a result. You're not punished for struggling. You're punished by the thoughts you keep recycling. You're not rewarded for working harder. You're rewarded for aligning with law. Spirit is always giving. It is we who do not receive. So the question is, will you keep living from inherited blueprints? Or will you finally take spiritual responsibility? You already have the power. It's not missing. It's not broken. You just haven't learned how to use it consciously. Now is the time. Not later. Not when it feels safe. Now. So here's your challenge. Live the next 7 days as if you are already wealthy. Don't hope, don't wish. Just know. And watch how fast the universe adjusts. Your final call to action. If you're ready to shift your frequency, declare it. Drop a comment right now that says, I am rich. Not later. Not one day. Now. Because the subconscious doesn't wait, it responds to boldness. Like this video if it activated something deep in you. Subscribe if you're done with fluff and ready for truth. Your upgrade has already begun. Thank you for your time.